A wonderful day to you out there, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to another edition of Standpoint. I am Dakbo Aruwajoye. The Lagos State Governor, Akinwumi Ambode, on June the 13th this year swore in sole administrators to run the affairs of 20 local government areas, that's the LGAs, and 37 local council development areas, LCDAs, in Lagos. These sole administrators are to make difference in the lives of the people in their locality and to provide basic services to communities at the grassroots before the local government election per se. So the big question today is, what do you feel about governance at the grassroots level in Lagos State? And have you started seeing the impact of the sole administrators yet? Though it's like 3 months now to their inception. So in your locality, and fortunately we have 2 of them in the studio today, and they will be telling us their experiences. Don't forget, you can also join the conversation by calling in when the phone lines are open. I told you my name is Dakbo Aruwajoye. When we return from the break, I will introduce my guest. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. They say ladies first, so I'll start from my right and start introducing from my right. And I have Princess Aderemi Adebowale. She's the sole administrator, Iru Victoria Island LCDA. Thank you very much for joining us, Princess.
Good afternoon, sir.
And next to her, I have Oshikoya Abimbola, Honorable Oshikoya Abimbola. Sole administrator is Solo LCDA. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dapo.
Thank you so much. And next to me, I have Remilekun, Honorable, right? All honorables here today. Remilekun Samson Aremu is a political analyst, an economist, and he's hiring. He wants to be a local government chairman also, isn't it? All right, then. Thank you so much. Babafemi Saheed Adewale, a political analyst also. And are you an economist?
Oh, I'm a lawyer.
You're a lawyer, wonderful. But you're hiring one of the seats also.
Yeah, Ikeja local government's
Oh,
chairman.
wonderful. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. Let me start with you, Princess. It's a long one, one that's overdue, really. We were expecting you last week. You were busy, very, very busy. And talking about last week, that was the sanitation Saturday, right? You ladies are always out there. Tell us your experiences when it comes to cleaning Lagos and talking about the dream of Governor Akinwumi Ambode, as per talking about Lagos, a clean Lagos. Tell us your experiences when it comes to sanitation in Lagos.
First of all, I want to thank you for having us here. When you talk about sanitation in Lagos State, His Excellency Governor Akinwumi Ambode is very, very passionate about a cleaner and a better Lagos. Of course, we do the environmental sanitations every last Saturday of the month, you know. But in Victoria Island, we have also commenced doing a weekly environmental sanitation, because cleaning your environment is just not a once-a-month thing. It's a daily thing that you must practice, you know, so that it doesn't pile up. Going out weekly for us, usually we go out on Thursdays, you know, we pick different areas and streets, you know, to clean out, especially the drainages, because we are finding out that most of our drainages are clogged, you know. The clog, you know, starts from street traders, shanties, and all that, you know, clogging the drainages and the streets and the dirt, you know, that they put on the streets and the drainages. So and
the season we have now is the rainy season,
exactly,
which leads into flood.
Exactly, exactly. So if you don't clean the drainages, of course, you're going to have a lot of flood. In fact, this past Thursday, I went to a Vira meeting at Victoria Island, the Koyoba Linde Association, and we're very thankful, you know, that something must have gone right, because they did not experience much flooding this past week, you know, and that has to do with His Excellency's directives and his vision that we must make sure that environmental sanitation is paramount on our list, you know. So we go out every Thursday, again, we pick different streets, we do the drainage cleaning, and we desilt at the same time, you know, to make sure we have a clean and a sound environment to live in.
Wonderful. And in Isolo also, I saw you some days ago during our news. You were inspecting, is it shops or markets?
Yeah, markets.
Tell us, because I saw you were furious when someone was sleeping in the shop. Or tell us that story again.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dapo. Like my colleague said, that the governor wants a cleaner environment. We now focused on marketing in Isolo because you won't believe what the markets are right now. When you go to the markets, you see all sorts of things happening in the market. It's not the way the governor wants the market to be that it is right now. So we make sure that we go there every day. I say every day because every other day, if you go every other day, you might go on Monday. When you go on Monday, you talk to them. As soon as you're leaving there, they'll go back to the same thing. So we now set up, what's it called, a task force monitoring agency.
Not the wole woles
Not
of
the wole, no, we have the wole wole.
Okay.
We now set up another task force agency to go in there. There was this market I went to. When did I go? I went to the market last week.
Okay.
When I got there, what I saw was unbelievable. You won't believe that we have some girls, even some girls staying in the shops, people coming to sleep with them there and having babies there.
Oh my God.
So it was
That's sad.
It's really sad. So now we've made it a conscious effort that we go there every day to see what is happening in the market and to educate them that they have to keep the place clean. Most of every time of the day, but they shouldn't wait for only Thursdays because
To clean.
because now all they do is that Shebi is only on Thursday that you said we should be cleaning. So we told them no, that they shouldn't wait for Thursdays alone to clean. But we're really trying our best in this all.
Wonderful. Let me go to you, RSA, because in Lagos, you know the population in this state. Lagos is like a small country, like more than 20-something million people. And imagine, do you think the government is doing enough? And what else how can the people help the government to keep Lagos clean? Because you know the after effect of all this, flood everywhere. And every time you feel, when you see flood, people just blame the government solely. But we have part to play in all this, or what do you think?
Yeah, thank you, Dapo. If you look at what is happening around us in Lagos, we are the major cause of our problems, especially the residents. If we can exert our energy on sensitizing the immediate environment, let's come to the grassroots. Let's tell the markets movement that what you're doing here is right, is wrong. Let's tell the man that will even drink his own pure water and open his full air-conditioned car and throw the pure water. Let them he's doing the wrong thing. And let's look at the economic aspect of it. I'm coming from the economics perspective now. What happens to our waste of wealth? Tell these people, instead of you throwing this thing around, you can generate money from that. You see them packing all these things and getting more income from it.
The bottles, the
bottles, the nylons. It baffles me when I go to the market to buy air glasses. I know it's made from pure water's nylon. Let's let them know all these things. Before you know it, your street will be dragging to buy, to even pick nylon or pure water.
So everybody will be dragging, the streets will be clean.
Will be clean. That is what we need this time around. The government is doing good in terms of environmental sanitation, but we need participation of the people. The government cannot do everything. That is why we're begging our stakeholders, come on board, do these things.
Wonderful. Bafemi, what do you think? Because I know you'll be on the same side of the fence with them, but talking about that really, and I wanted to put that flood part with it. The consequences of all this, it's apparent, but people don't even just think about it. You know, you mentioned the rich man, he drinks and he just throws his bottle out of a window, and which is bad.
Yes, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My view in that is that it's about the people, it's about information dissemination, it's about telling them, putting a placard, putting advertisement on TV. Majorly what I observe in most of the local government in Nigeria that causes this problem is every 10 meters, I'll make sure there's a dustbin. If you are driving, you can park your car and throw away your litters, but when there's no provision for all that, obviously some people will be stuck and they have to throw away stuff on the street. So I will advise that every local government should ensure that every 10 meters on the street there should be provision for waste bins for the public, so that the public will be able to understand that the use of the public bin is to throw away their trash and their dirties in the public. Because
well, you know the kind of person we are sometimes. Even when you see the bin there, some people, you know, it's so funny because let's use Berger for an example. There's a new bridge now, a pedestrian bridge. you still see people struggling to cross the road. And the cars are coming with full speed. So the kind of people we have, don't you think if there are bins, people will still ignore the bins and throw these things in the gutter?
Well, I believe it's contrary to that because I believe Nigerians are very law-abiding people. Yes, I'll say that again because I'll say that again because if you go outside the country, I'll say that again and again every time and everywhere. Because if you go outside the country, you see that Nigerians are obeying law so much.
That's outside the system.
I'm going to get why they are still Nigerians. They left here. It is the orientation, it is the system over there that makes them to adapt to such practices. You understand? If those practices are being introduced to us here, obviously with time and with
those practices are strict laws, and you have to comply with the laws.
No, I'm saying.
So the government has to be stricter. Is that what you're saying?
You're getting it. There should be laws. There should be laws enacted. There should be fines for all those that. There should be people enforcing those that go that does that. Because if you look at UK, for example, if you piss on the street, it's about £5,000 to do that. The penalty is more than the offence. So most people will not.
The penalty is more than the offence.
Yes. How can you just litter the street and you have to pay £500 for littering the street? It's so ridiculous. You see, the penalty is more than the offence. So if that is being implemented in Nigeria, all that will curb all this death and all that.
Wonderful. Let's take it from that angle, really. Strict laws. You know, kind of the governance we do, really, will put sentiments into all this. If you're strict, you have this fear that tomorrow people might not vote for the party. Or you remember the Y days, War Against the Discipline, when Buhari was still even around then. It was so strict. But now things have changed. This is democracy. And talking about being strict, of recent, there's a committee put in place to deal with people, shanties in your local government. Do you want to tell us about that? Because the government is being strict now. I think notices have been given out to people and they did not comply. Is that why? Tell us about the process.
Well, His Excellency Governor Akeem Ambode inaugurated clean up Victoria Land, Ikoyi and Lekki Axis on Tuesday. And it's about, I think it's a 20-man committee, wherein it is pilot scheme that is still going to be replicated in all the 57 local government, but it's starting at this, at Victoria Land and Ikoyi, Lekki Axis, wherein he has given 2 weeks notice to the people, the street traders, the shanties, abandoned properties, for people with abandoned properties to come and reclaim their properties. Else they'll be taken over. Because what we are finding out is like a lot of, I want to call them hooligans, homeless people, they go into those abandoned homes and they sleep there. So he has given 2 weeks for those people with the abandoned properties to come and reclaim their properties.
So to reduce the crime
crime rate. So we're talking about security right now, but I want to go back to the issue of throwing things on the street and all that. And you mentioned law against indiscipline. If you still go to some bus stops now, you will see people complying. And they actually line up to enter buses. And those are in the old Buhari days. And people are still doing it. So I personally believe if there is a law in place, it's not about his excellence. It's about us. And about us being put in humanity. And that, we are people that can comply. And we are moving towards the 21st century. So doing that, I believe that, if we put those bin in an area and we tell people that put your bin here, if you don't, you are going to be fined. I don't say anything against that. It's still trying to get our old Lagos back, and it's still trying to put perspective and to show people that, we are not animals, we are people. Okay, so I don't see us doing that will now make people not to vote for us. It actually shows that we care about the people, because if you do that, it's about your health. So a lot of things goes into this particular putting a dustbin somewhere where somebody can throw their bin. It's about your health, it's about your safety, it's about showing people that you are human, that you are not an animal.
Let me go to you, Bola. Nigerians, he said, we are law-abiding, and really, I wanted to disagree sometimes.
I bet you disagree. I disagree with that.
But if there are laws that are put in place, Nigerians really are law-abiding. Because where they get to anywhere, if there are laws put in place, they abide by the laws of UK and laws of America. But even in Nigeria too, even in Lagos, there are some measures put in place, and I see people comply. And what do you think? Because I mentioned the fact that people will not vote if you are too strict on them.
I don't agree with that. I don't, because Recently, the governor just passed a law about street trading. Yet you can still people still parading on the streets. You can see some association, some union coming out telling the governor that he doesn't have the right to do that. So talking about laws, putting laws in place, I don't think that will solve the problem. I feel we need to tell them the danger.
The enlightenment.
The enlightenment, you will come out, just tell them, we keep on talking to them. I think when we keep on talking to them, one day they will listen and they will do that. Because it was just, in my own local government, there was this abandoned vehicles all over the places, and we actually set up a committee. You know, after setting up the committee, I can see a lot of people coming that, why would you set up a committee? You know, when it comes to laws, I don't believe that we are law-abiding people. We don't. Nigerians, fine, when we go outside...
They could be pushed into it, really.
We can.
They could be pushed into it.
Yeah, but
it comes in.
It comes in. But because when we go abroad, we abide. But when we come back, because they know that...
So is the system then?
I think so. I think
Or what do you think is the system then?
I think I'm going with what she's saying. Because in the States, you don't put on your the on anyhow, but
Yes.
here you see a mobile or damper
Play with your horns.
So I think it boils down to behavioral change.
Yeah.
Let's call ourselves to order. Nobody will force. You know, Ambode will not cross the street. She will not cross the street. Is this you and I that will just want to?
Maybe because they are big people, that's
Not
why they
because
will
they
not
are
cross the
big,
street.
not because they are big, it's because they've seen what is right. They can discern between the good and the bad.
But is there the exposure then?
Well, to some extent, you can say the exposure.
It is.
Because
exposure.
for now,
It is,
if I'm going to the office, instead of me to cross the highway, I would rather go through the bridge because I know there are twins at home.
I don't want to die.
Something consciousness. So it boils down to behavioral change. Let us change our behavior. If the government says don't do this, it's not for the government, it's for us.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Because that one you mentioned about if you want to cross the road, I remember you have twins at home. That's is more than exposure. That's
moral.
That's
Common
common
sense.
sense. And some people don't even apply that. Common sense, they say, is not common. Do you think? So what do you think? That means the government has to push people before we comply.
What they need to do.
I should mention the enlightenment also.
To me, my opinion is still not the same with my colleagues here. My opinion is this:
The Nigerians are
implementation.
not abiding.
They are, because I'll tell you this. You see, when you make laws, they don't work themselves. People have to enforce that law, implement that law, make them work. When you make laws and there's no enforcement of that law, it's like you didn't make no law. So if a law is made, there should be a process of implementing that law, enforcing that law, and ensure that that law works. The different arm of government that does that. Making the law from legislative. Those that enforce the law are the policemen.
The policemen.
Those that the court has their own, the judiciary has their own role to play as well. If any arm of government is failing in their own particular duty, then the law will not be implemented. You will not see the outcome of that law. That is the problem of Nigerians, right? It's not the people. It's still the government.
It's the government.
I will say that openly and again because the government, excuse me.
It's not the people, but the government.
Yes, because the people, yeah, I'll get down to, I'll let you know why I said that.
Okay.
Yeah. The people are governed by the government. The people are ideal, stable people. The people are told what to do around the community. The people do what they like when there's no law. Tell me if anybody, if there's a murder now, what's the next thing? The law will take its course because it's a big offense. We classify murder as a big offense. There's murder now, the next day police will be there, will be arrested, will be taken to court, will be convicted.
So you think the government has to use force?
Not force, implement it. Implement the law. Look for ways whereby they can enforce the law.
You remember when they were trying to stop Okadas for plying the major roads? You know how many Okadas died? Because in the process, people now think the police were using force to implement the law. That's what I'm saying. You need to use force somewhere like Lagos. You know, even to cross bridge around Ojota, we have to put, they did put the barricades. There's a law already. People see Black Maria on the other side, they still cross that road.
And they'll be caught.
So there's a law.
If you're arrested, excuse me, if you're arrested 5-10 times a week, will you still cross the road?
People still cross.
They
I
do,
beg to say.
they
If
do.
people will still be breaking the law, but it's the majority of people that break the law that matters. Law are meant to be broken and to be obeyed in any society. But the amount of people that break the law, it's the percentage that matters. Even in UK, we're talking about they still break the law.
They still break the law.
But the
yeah,
people
that's
that,
true.
those that break the law are no more than those that they observe the law. You know what I'm saying? Nigeria is, you can't compare Nigeria with the UK or any other country. We are still behind. We are a developing nation. We have to be pushing forward. We have to be fighting for survival. Freedom is not free.
Wonderful. Talking about law, let me go to you because in your locality, you have this problem about the Omoniles. You know the Lagos property law, is it Lagos property protection law that was just put in place? How are you enforcing it? You know the land grabbers, boys that just go there, you need to be paid before you start anything on your land. How's it going? In your, are they complying?
In my local government?
In your area?
In
Yeah.
my area, we don't have much of non-compliance with the Omoniles because, again, it's an elite environment. And then it's Victoria Land and Oniru. And the Oniru side is much controlled by the Oba Oniru.
The family, yeah.
The Oniru family. And things like that is much sorted and much calmer in my local government. And if anything like that happens, of course, there is law now against Omonile grabbing or forcing people to pay you before they build anything.
What do you think about the law?
Well, I think it's a beautiful law. Okay, it will allow people to have peace of mind. You know, it will allow people to want to invest in the developmental, properties in Lagos State. Okay, and it gives you peace of mind that you are not going to start building and somebody will come keep harassing you, keep telling you to pay them. If you want to put a roof, you have to pay them. If you want to put like another decking, you have to pay them. And I think it's still telling us that Lagos State is a state that can be like, it's a state that one can come and enjoy. And especially like people from abroad, our friends in the United States that want to come and start building, but all these Omonile issues scares them away. But now that this law is in place, and then we have to talk about enforcement. No matter what you do in this area, in this society, you have to enforce. If you don't enforce, you cannot sustain it. Okay, so enforcement is in place. You know, you harass somebody building, you are going to go to jail.
Yes.
And of course, I know they don't want to go to jail. All right. So I think it's a beautiful law. I think it's a law that is here to stay. And I think the governance now is about the people. It's about grassroots. Yeah. It's about bringing governance back to the people. Okay. It's about letting you know that we are here for you. You voted us in, and we are here to work for you. So I believe in that law, and I think it's here to stay.
Wonderful. Do you think it's there to stay? Really?
In fact, it's long overdue. The law is long overdue, and I must use this medium to commend the Lagos State Governor for introducing this law, because all these Omoliles, they've turned themselves to many gods. You can't even approach them. You, after earning your money, your money, you go and buy the land, and before you know what's happening, you just see one person from nowhere will just come,
pay something,
give us money. So it's just the way they harass people is just not.
And it's long overdue, really, because remember, I've forgotten his name now. You know, the man in charge of the Lekki Free Trade Zone. Forgotten. Disu that was killed the other time.
That was
a few months back.
It was this Omoliles that actually did it, So I must really commend the governor, because without this law, they will still be out there causing unnecessary mayhem and everything like that. So,
talking of compliance, you think they will comply?
Because trust the governor. I trust him. They will. They don't have any choice but to comply.
So if they catch one or two, they send him to jail. That will serve as deterrent to others.
Yes, I think so. But the issue is this. I think, as she said, politics or governance is all about the people. They are supposed to bring this law down to the people. Let them be part of these laws. Let them be part of the enactment. Let them have the sense of belongings. Let them know that, okay, no, if you do this, this is what goes for you.
Can I quickly, I told you we'll be receiving calls once in a while. Yeah. So I have Gabriel from Bariga. Good afternoon, Gabriel.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Dapo.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for this wonderful program that you started.
Thank you so much.
I do enjoy you a lot.
Thank you.
What I want to say concerning the law in Nigeria and Lagos State is this. Nigerian lawmakers, they are lawbreakers.
The Nigerian lawmakers are all?
They are all lawbreakers.
They are lawbreakers.
Truly, they make the law. But I want you to know that, according to what that man said, the man at the left-hand side, the last man that said Nigerian people should respect the law, I quite agree with him.
The Nigerians are what?
That Nigerians, they do agree with the law. That
they do respect the law. Okay.
Yeah. What I want to know is this. Nigerian people, the leaders, they make the law. Now, okay, let's say on the environmental agenda, you people should not go out. They will still be the ones that will go out. What is the quality of a leader? The leader is the person who set good example for his member of people to follow. You only make the let me just give you this example. If a father is smoking a book, can he tell his son to smoke cigar? That is what is happening in this country. God will help us.
All right, and thank you so much, Gabriel, for that call of yours. I interrupted you.
Yeah, as you can hear from the last caller,
Nigerians are law-abiding.
Lawmakers are lawbreakers. I agree with him.
Yeah.
Because if you ask someone to stay back at home, just to clean your house, and the next thing is driving off, and now you know there is a law, there is no restriction.
Yeah.
The law says
and when he blows this siren,
nobody stops him. And besides, on the sanitation day, you see boys, instead of cleaning their homes, they are playing balls around the corners, and you that are even ready to clean, they are not giving you the opportunity to do that. So I think it's a thing of the grassroots. Let's come back home. Democracy is simple. It's the people. It's the people. Don't let that paradigm shift. Let's come back home. Let's see that, okay, this law is meant for us. It's not meant for the government itself. Let's play it the way they want it.
Okay.
And now you discover that from abiding by that law, you're also gaining lots.
Okay. Before we go on break, let me just quickly take in. Let me take you on these the Omonile issue. Do you think more should be put into place to stop these menace? Or what is there now is good enough?
It's good because the Omonile issue has been a very long time overdue issue in Nigeria. Not only in Lagos State, in every part of Nigeria, mostly Lagos. You might buy land, after a few years, you didn't come to do anything on it. By the time you get there, they sold to someone else. The same Omonile problem is always everywhere. So it's a welcome development. I'm happy with the governor. I like the idea, but I'll advise that it should be implemented.
It should be implemented.
Yes.
There are numbers now. The government dropped some numbers. If you have issues with Omoniles, you can call easily. And that's a good one also, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen someone that called the number?
I'm not on the other side, but I think people do call really. Okay, we need to go on a short break. When we'll come back, we'll continue our discussion for where we stopped it. Don't go anywhere. So welcome back. You're still watching Standpoint, and I still have in the studio Babafemi Said Adewale, Remilekun Samson Aremu, and Oshikoya Abimbola, Sole Administrator, Isolo LCDA, and also Princess Aderemi Adebowale, Sole Administrator, Iru, Victoria Island LCDA. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Let me go to the major thing that is happening in this country now. That's recession. The country is not doing well. The major problem is this country has been a monolithic kind of economy. We've been running a monolithic economy. And people are saying now, go do farming. We should look at diversification of our economy. But apparently, I think this should start from the grassroots. Because the government, it cannot permeate like that. I think it's better it goes like this. What is it that you think can be done in your community or your locality and to help the federal government?
Well,
or what are you doing still? Because I know you people do empowerment, you do all that, you do a whole lot.
Yes. Well, in my local government, one of the things that we have done is to empower youth empowerment. Okay. Youth empowerment in the sense that, when you do youth empowerment, it's an area where you can help them, like, find jobs, to be able to be independent and do things for themselves. And when you talk about recession, there is no money in your pockets.
Can I interrupt you, please?
Sure.
And I will let you continue with your thought. I have Moreni Keji from Ikeja. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Dapo, it's always good for us to be on a straight line. Let me give you a practical example.
Okay.
Yesterday, I had an accident yesterday.
Wow.
What happened? The traffic light has actually passed a particular section, and the traffic light is holding another section. Because the so-called big men with their siren, they had to break the traffic light. Now, the police standing there will not stop the so-called big man. Now, if I had accident yesterday, probably someone would have died, and they will still go because I don't have the power to deal with them. Now, when you're saying things to start from the average man on the street, please, an average man doesn't have a problem. Let me give you a second point. In my house, I make use of card. Do you understand? Now, I used to tell my friends that I prefer to pay 10,000 naira a month or 20,000 naira a month in as much as I have light. 247. I don't have issue with that. But these so-called big men, they just pay light. They don't. Did they buy for it? They don't. So they should start getting things done, and we will follow suit. That's true. If you ask me not to cross the road, the so-called big man should not break the traffic law. Now, if I break the traffic law, the police will stop you. Before you know, they take it allowance or they collect money from you. But the so-called big man, they will do nothing to him. So what do you expect an average man on the street to do? Believe me, people keep getting frustrated day by day. It's a simple analysis. Where you are now, it's just because the authority at TVC, they ensure that all you need to get your job done are put in place. That's why you're comfortable. Now, if I'm working in a place, I'm thinking that I need to get my job done, it's not there, I expect to perform. How do I get it done? So they need to do their own quota, and we are ready to contribute our own quota. Just like the man sitting there said. Let me tell you the truth. An average Nigerian is someone that respects the law to the fullest.
And you believe the lawmakers are the lawbreakers?
1,000,000%, not 100%. 1,000,000%.
All right, thank you so much for that call of yours. Thank you so much. I don't want to go back to that, so we just continue with what we were discussing. That's empowerment and diversification of the economy, really.
Yes. So the youth empowerment, we are setting up a vocational center right now in Victoria Island, LCDA, wherein youth can come and learn different trades, like hairdressing, computer programming, beads making, jewelry making, and all that. Still, because once they're able to learn those trades and they are able to start working and be independent, they'll be able to make money. And then the more money somebody make and spend in an economy, it's what makes that economy thrive.
And you make money too from your local government. Now you tax them one way or just take up.
Well, I wouldn't want to say we tax them. We try to increase our IGR. And you have to understand that our IGR is what we use to maintain the local government.
Yes.
Okay, it's what we use to fix the road. It's what we use to clean the drainages. It's what we use to distill, our drainage. It's what we use to even do, employee welfare. Okay, so this thing, so it's it's not just increasing your IGR. It's using it to maintain the local government. It's using it to make sure your community is sound and safe. Okay, about 2 weeks ago, on August 10th, we actually did medical mission, wherein we have people in that community to come and get free medical help, diabetes, eye checkup, dental. Because if somebody is, a healthy mind is a healthy body, or the other way around. Where if your health is sound, you'll be able to contribute into the society positively. You'll be able to go to work. You'll be able to increase what you contribute into the society. So all this being put together is what the local government is trying to do now to make sure, again, bringing governance back to the grassroots, making sure that the people, the grassroots, know that you are there for them and you are there to service them. Okay, and which is what His Excellency has directed all the 57 sole administrators to go and do. You have to make sure you impact the lives of your community.
Wonderful. I have another caller. This is Mrs. Aderemi. Mrs. Kingsley.
Hello, good day, sir.
Hey, good day, madam. How are you?
Yes, fine, sir. This is Mrs. Kingsley calling from Texas.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I want to give kudos to two of your guests. The lady at your right, and the lady at your left and the man at your right. Yes, two of them. That young woman, she's doing great things in her community. I saw her, I think 2 days ago, where she was telling people the importance of keeping the environment clean. And I know that she means what she said that day. I give kudos to her. Ma, may the good Lord continue to be with you. Thanks for the good work that you are doing. And the gentleman on the blue.
You know him also?
Yeah, he's a man that you can reckon with. Another one is saying about youth empowerment. That man, I am privileged to be a beneficiary of his youth empowerment in FESTAC.
Wow.
He's a single man that is doing great things in Amuwodofi.
Wow. That's good.
Government support.
That's
he
good.
did youth empowerment. He did a free GCE, first session, I think second session.
Wow.
The students benefited. So this is the people that we want in Lagos. If they can work with our honorable governor, Ambode, I know that they are going to move Lagos State forward.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kingsley. You're lucky is the good part. Oh. If you were doing a bad thing out there, people would kudos to you, really. And let me go to you. And she's praised you. I hope your head is not swollen. Okay, let's talk about this IGL and generating money. And the fact is, how do we make our people self-independent? Like, we don't have to rely on the government. People don't have to rely on the white-collar jobs, really. Because if you have tailors out there, if there's light, a tailor will make money almost every day, even more than a banker, I tell you. So what do you think? What are you doing in your neighborhood, and what is it that you think you can do?
Like she just said, it's all about empowerment. Like in my own local government, we'll be having a stakeholders meeting next week. It's all about generating money. We have a lot of big companies in my local government. As you know, Isolo is an industrial estate. So we've written to them so that we can all come together. We should contribute money so that we can help the less privileged people. We should do more of empowerment program, like she just said now. Teaching them how to trade, teaching them how to make money.
But are you thinking of, there's less land in Lagos, really, but you're thinking of farming?
Yeah.
You're thinking of farming also? Okay.
But there's no land in the soil.
No land.
So just to educate them that, you know, when you do things, when you trade, when you do things, you know, with your hands, you can make money rather than waiting for all this white collars job or waiting for the government to come to your rescue. You know, try and go out, do something, learn a trade. You know, when you do that,
it helps you and it helps the government also. Exactly. Okay, we have an economics there. So
let me come in from the economics perspective.
Okay.
See, if you want to build a society of free crimes and that you and I can sleep and sleep tight, you need to look into empowerment. And that is what my platform is doing. We believe in the fact that the most vibrant aspect of this population, which is the youth, need to have something doing. You can't just leave them low because we'll be at the receiving end. You and I, our children, the community. And that is the more reason you need to bring the governance to the grassroots. You need to make the people know that they are the government.
It helps a lot. Right?
It helps a lot. You won't allow them to look at, you're dictating to them, you're pulling them here and there. They have a sense of belonging. And that's what we're doing on this platform. On my platform, I discovered that because I do more research. And I discovered that in my own area, we have 73% to be youth. 73%.
That's Amuwodofi.
73% of residents, youth. And of these youths, how many are employed? But we are trying to move from what we call petty. I'm not like faulting what my honorable is saying here. Teach them how to make beats. But how many beats is on you? The issue is this. You need to move to IT. IT is a very vast industry.
Just imagine what computer villages provided.
It's providing.
Talking about jobs.
Look at the young man that came into the country.
Yeah, the
Facebook.
Yeah, Zuckerberg.
Look at a young man as his early 30s and said he's making the 6th richest man in the world.
That guy is rich.
He's
man.
rich.
And can I quickly take Mazi Okorafor? He's calling from Abia State. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. That's Comrade Mazi Okorafor Patrick in Arochukwu, Abia State. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, the ladies and the studio there and the gentlemen there. You see, the issue of solar business is nothing bad. But the question there is that it delays the sending of dividends of democracy to the rural areas. Because one, the main chief security officer that brought in the solar administrators, they will not be dancing to the issue, they will not listen to the sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's not good. Briefing. If you conduct proper election for the local government, you see the people will open up. But in the situation now where the solar administrators are there, people will be afraid. But I normally advise the solar administrators. Because what you show now, it will help you if you want to contest in that local government in future. But sometimes our people that goes there, that they just come there just to abracadabra and just go because they know nobody will query them, which is very, very bad. But for we to move forward, this issue of solar administrators is not necessary. Let us conduct free and fair election for the local government. Have a blessed day in Lagos.
All right, then. Thank you, Mazi.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
and let me come back to you now. And because Mrs. Kingsley says she knows you so well, what is it that you do? Because it's good when you hear good about so. Let's echo it. What is it that you do in the neighborhood?
Well, in my neighborhood, I said earlier, I have a platform called Amuwu Solutions, and we try to provide solutions because you can't wait for government. Government has a lot to do on this table. That's why we're calling on stakeholders. Come on board. Government cannot do this, do that. You need to do things, and people will now know that, okay, if the government is not there, there is someone or there is a group that we can run to. On this platform, we've had free GCA scheme, the season 1, the season 2, where we train students free for GC coaching. We said, what about forms? I said, go get forms and come and get the training, because the hands justify the means. If you pass where your parents will be happy with you. And we've done various things like digital marketing. You know what digital marketing is all about. And in short, the turnout, I think that's the program she must have attended, though I don't know her person. But the issue is this: let's bring our own quota and supplement with what the government is providing.
The government,
before you know it, the government will have less thing to do.
Wonderful. Let me get him talking also. And talking about, because the whole idea is from this recession, we're thinking about leaving these over-reliance on the government. And the government is over-relying on oil. Now, I think it's a clarion call. Some people will say this recession isn't for Nigeria. So we'll know where we are going to. But some people are praying it should not turn to depression. Do you understand?
You know, to me, you wouldn't say over-reliance on government. The government have their function, they have their duties, they have their responsibility onto the people. You understand? In any basic environment, the government have what they have to provide to the people, the basic amenities, the social amenities. These things are not negotiable. These are not things that individuals will come up and start doing for other individuals. We can empower the community in other areas, but not in the area of basic amenities like water, like light, like health center, like hospital, like all those. They are major things, and they are things that are big. You understand? So I think the government should step up more, and you know, they have to really look into the way they can help the people.
But talking about the governors at the local level, we could supplement, right? We could help ourselves before help comes from above.
Of course, if you look at the composition of the state, it's made of the local government. The local government comprises the state. If each local government are performing greatly, then the state will perform wonderfully. If any local government is performing badly or not up to standard, definitely there will be a problem in the state. Because every state, every local government is part of the state. You understand what I'm saying? So my advice is every local government should have what we call a uniform. We have to come together. Most of the head of local government should come together, talk. Every area have different problems. If you look at it very well, So we have to improvise and try to, you know, help the society, the people, importantly, because if you look at it properly, the government at the grassroots, they're the one that are closer to the people. The government don't know what the people are, what they're suffering about, you know what they're yearning for. But the local government are closer to the people, they can see them day by day, know what is going on, what they can do, then we can take their problem to the top, and we can deliberate with the people at the top, and they can assist in the way we can, you know, provide solutions to their problems.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. I have Mike from Apapa. Good afternoon, Mike.
Yeah, good day, sir.
Good afternoon.
Please, we really have a complaint within our area here at Lodi Apapa.
Okay. Tell me about it.
The serious menace we are experiencing here is a bitter pill to swallow by the environment. We are suffering over here. The sole administrator has been here last week for Jeremy Fellow, the local government. We have a mechanic village. What they are doing here, I'm sure if the governor sees it, he will close that place down. Please, they should come to our assistance. But to Lodi Apapa by Aro Yabuna Street.
So the mechanic village is the problem. What's the problem per se?
They are butchering trucks, cars, dogs, anything you can think of. And once they start, they block all the roads. People cannot go in, people cannot go out. So please help me to tell the two female administrators there. From what we've seen, it's like maybe when these women are there, they attend to issues quickly than the men that were there before.
Okay.
So it's something I must really commend them about.
Okay, thank you. It's not about the sex, really. What do you think? Is it being a female sole administrator? Is it different from being a male sole administrator?
Well, not necessarily. It depends on the person. You know, it really depends on the person. And to complement what I said, in my local government, it's Etiosa, in Victoria Land, I'm the first female to be sole administrator there, and we have another person at Igbo. So both of us are the first female to be there. But it's about, again, it's about the person, it's about what problem you have in your various local government. And then you tackle that problem as it comes to you. What is happening in Solo is germane to Solo per se, and what I have in my local government is germane to my local. So I have to deal with what I have on ground, you know, what issues that I have to deal with. But what I've done in Victoria Land, the first thing that I do, the first week that I got there, is I had a stakeholders meeting and called the elites, the residents, you know, we all came together like on a round table, okay, to talk about to talk about the various problems that each sector is having, okay, and it's then that you can now start dealing with each problem per se. So again, it's not about being a female, it's about the person that I am. I'm in my local government, I've been tagged Mother Teresa and Margaret Thatcher, and I, you know, compliment the two names. You know, where I have to apply Margaret Thatcher, I do. Where I have to apply Mother Teresa, I do. Again,
the carrot and stick.
Yeah, well, exactly. So it depends on what's happening, you know. And then one thing that we have also done, and I think is something that each local government, and I think they're adopting, is to work with your various associations. Again, we have the VERA, Victoria Land, the Koyoba the association, and they are the one that they go all around those areas. You know, they know what is happening in every nook and corner. How
many months have you been there? 3 months?
3 months, yeah. You know, but we are working hand in hand with them, and they are very happy. You know, I've been to their meetings, you know, this last week, and they were able to tell us a lot of things that you, as a local government, might not even know. So things like that, if we are in sync with the community, still going back, giving governance to the people, knowing that they are the one that put us there, knowing that it's about them, and then talking to them, being friends with them, so that they don't see us as a body that stands by itself. Okay, so if we are able to work hand in hand with them, then we're able to give them whatever it is that they want. I have to go back to my brother when he says, what are you going to do about beats? In the Victoria Island, we have the elites and we have the low-class people, and you have to merge both together. Of course, we are doing computer training. For the beats now, as a woman, somebody can sell a beat to you for up to like 60,000 naira. So it's not just about bidding, it's about the quality of what you are putting.
And the design also.
And the design that you are putting into it. But then we have the computer training program. And then the way people assimilate or your interest. I might want to be a nurse and she might want to be a doctor. You might want to be a teacher. So you have to cater for different people and their needs. And that is what we are trying to do in Victoria Island LCDA, making sure we are looking at individuals, not as a whole, but as individuals, and that's making sure we are caring for their needs. So that's what we're doing.
Wonderful. People, tell us about what you've done. 3 months, really. Some people will say it's short. And some people say, oh, come on, you should have done something.
Thank you. Before I tell you, let me answer the last caller. Yes, women, they have this listening ear, as in women. I'm proud to be a woman because as the woman in politics, we do a lot. I'm serious because everybody knows that we're the mother end, as in we have this compassion, we have this what's it called?
You have everything.
Thank you, we have everything. So the last caller, you're right, because when a woman is there, you see that we do a lot, we do much, you know. So in my local government, you know, Isolo, we're peculiar. Isolo is not urban, you know, so we can't do computer. We can't do, because if you call them, so what is computer? But what I'm doing in my own local government is that as I speak, I'm building a school. Yeah, I'm building a school for the
primary school.
Yeah, the primary schools, the peoples, because we want to tell them that education is good. So that was why I said, okay, I called the stakeholders. They gave us some money, and we started building a school. And there's this program that I'm working on. It's called Back to School. I'm doing school bags for them. Okay. Yeah, just to encourage them to go to school, you know, because in that they don't believe in school in some rural areas. So we're just doing that. And what else are we doing? We're doing a lot there. We're just to make sure that show them that we're working. Okay,
because of time, maybe we'll come back and tell us about more you're doing. But gentlemen, as we round up, what do you think generally?
Well, in my own view, as someone who have stayed in Amowo, and I want to commend my own administrator as well, though he's not a female. He's a man, and he's a man of integrity and person of Bamidele Oki. He's doing well. Within these 3 months, we see changes in our roads, though people will say maybe it's coming from the state, but we're not bothered about that. This is the right person there now, and he's doing fine, and we're really enjoying his stay. Now, to come back to the issue, the issue is this. There is need for us to, like the media, you know, there is democratization of the media. You brought the media down to the grassroots. That's why you can see pictures can go on here. If there's any incident, everybody will see it at once. The same thing should happen to the politics, the governance. Let it come to the people. Since 1966, during Abu Resi, where the federal government, there was a shift from federal to the unitary system of government, you can see that everything now goes up. National farming scheme. It should be local farming scheme. National this. It should be local. Let's come local. Let's carry people along. Before you know it, things will get shape.
Wonderful. And what do you think, sir? Ikeja, right? Yeah. That's something. Ikeja is the heart of Lagos. Yeah. So what's happening? Are you satisfied?
Yeah. As you know, Ikeja is the heart of Lagos. Like you said, it's the capital of Lagos actually, and they've done a bit. But what I'm vying for the position of the chairman of Ikeja local government is that I really don't like the composition of Ikeja itself, and the people are now they are being suffering, and particularly about the youth. If you look at it from this angle, if you go abroad, all they know is Lagos. They don't even know other states. When you go, I'm going to Nigeria, Lagos, everybody knows Lagos, and when they get to Lagos, they're going to get to Ikeja first. Can you imagine there's no libraries in Ikeja, a standard library that is equipped? I love
public library that you can walk into.
Yeah, I love studies. I've been in Nigeria, I never had a chance to. The library are not functional. My children came from abroad, they came home, they couldn't study. It's just disappointing. And apart from that, if we say the youth are the future of tomorrow, there's no recreation centers, there's no town halls, there's no amusement park, there's no zoo. There's some basic
no recreation center.
Yeah, there's some basic things that the society need. Look, I went to the Olympic, we spent 2.8 billion and we came back with bronze. Why?
At least we came back with something.
No, I'm just saying to tell you that those that came back with gold, most of them are from secondary school children that compete that competition.
Yes.
You understand why? Because the facilities are there.
Okay.
In my community now, you see a lot of young men that are willing to play basketball. Where's the basketball pitch? You should know that everything starts from the grassroots.
It does.
For where you grow, you can't just become 20 years old and say, I want to play football. You have to grow this skill.
Yeah,
the government have to provide
academy.
Yes, for them. Not only that, in so many areas to be able to at least, by the time they get to adulthood, they will have, there's a particular interest in their mind which they'll be working on. Footballers in the Keja, where do you want to see boys playing football?
I know there's a lot coming out. I mean, there's a lot where this is coming out, but we need to say bye-bye for now. I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. FM Sahid Adewale, thank you so much. And also Remilekun Samson Aremu. Thank you also. And hope to have you gentlemen again, though. We'll do a better discussion next time. Oshiko Abimbola, Sole Administrator, Isolo LCDA. Thank you also for joining us. And Princess Adiremi Adebowale, Sole Administrator, Iru, Victoria Island LCDA. Thank you so much. And when we'll call you ladies again, you come, right? Thank you so much. And we appreciate you all, those that have called in and those that were not able to call. We do appreciate you all. Let's do this again next week. I am Dakpo Aruwajoye. Until then, God bless Nigeria.